Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Or good day, depending on where you're from. Hello, and welcome back to another live stream. How's everybody doing today? How's everybody's week going so far? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Give it a few minutes for people to join. We'll take some time to say hi to the community, and then we will get into the conversation for today. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope everybody's week's going well. See how everybody's doing so far on the week. Throw a 1 in the chat if you're green on the week. Throw a 2 in the chat if you're red on the week. And throw a 3 in the chat if you have not taken a trade yet this week. While we do that, I will say good morning to the community. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Azari. Good morning, It's Nay. Good morning, Raf. Good morning, One Girl Trader. Good morning, Alexis. Good morning, Tad. Good morning, HMH. Good morning, Caesar. Good morning, Govna. Good morning, Frank. Good morning, Trader Kira. Good morning, Dude, It's Me. Good morning, Marvelous. Good morning, Trader Tai2. Good morning, Makio. Good morning, Bimel. Good morning, Stefanos. Good morning, Two Chains. Good morning, Maya. Good morning, Livy. Good morning, Rav. Good morning, Henry. Francis, how are you doing today? Umar, how are you doing today? Asaf, good morning. Tatiana, good morning. Tyree, how are you doing today? Sap Chim, good morning. The Wester, good morning. Tasha, good morning. How's everybody doing today? The Bull Shark, good morning. Michael, good morning. Nicole, good morning. Let's see, a bunch of 1s. Couple 3s. Bunch of 3s. Couple 2s. More 1s. Couple more 2s and a couple more 3s. So it looks like majority of people are more green than red this week. Other than that, it looks like individuals are waiting, currently being patient. Good morning, Jackie. Good morning, Raj. Matey, good morning. Daniel, good morning. Jackson, good morning. Diego, good morning. Philip, good morning. Vis, good morning. Jadeson, good morning. Uday, good morning. Adam, good morning. Catalin, good morning. Daniel, good morning. Nico, good morning. Hope everybody's week is going well. Hope everybody's day is going well. Gonna give it another minute for people to join before we get into any conversations. Morning, good morning, or good day, depending on where you're from. So, first things first is we have FOMC today. Have to be aware that FOMC is at 2 p.m. today. FOMC is normally a 2-stage move because you have your federal funds rate at 2 p.m., your FOMC statement at 2 p.m., and then it goes right into the 2:30 press conference. Okay, so one of our largest volatility drivers, I would consider CPI being the most volatile, then non-farm payroll being the second most volatile, and then FOMC being the third most volatile. So you have to be aware of the volatility in the marketplace during this PM session. Hey, good morning, Luke. Hope your day is going well. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Alive. Good morning, Gordon. Good morning, Honest Trades. Good morning, Ronnie. Hope everybody's day is going well. Hope everybody's week is going well. Good morning, Peter. All right, so we have to be aware of FOMC today. Very simple decision here. You have to accept the risk before the risk is taken. Very simple. If you cannot accept the risk before the risk is taken, then no risk should be taken at all. Okay, so if you're sitting there saying, you know, FOMC is too volatile for me, then it sounds like you should not take a trade today. The risk has to be accepted before the risk is taken, or else you're going to be emotionally induced. You're not going to manage your position according to your system. Your emotions are going to deter you from what you need to do. And what you need to do is manage your risk by having discipline in your system. Doesn't matter what your system is. Said it hundreds and hundreds of times. Doesn't matter if you're trading moving averages. It doesn't matter if you're trading support and resistance. It doesn't matter if you're trading indicators. It doesn't matter if you're trading unicorns. It doesn't matter. It does not matter what you trade. What does matter is your risk management. What does matter is you being emotionally intelligent, mentally intelligent enough to control all of your actions. Because the things that blow up accounts are when you go on tilt, when you revenge trade, when you over trade, when you position size too large. It's not a matter of the system, it's a matter of the operator. The individuals that can control their mind, control their emotions, control their actions, those are going to be the individuals that are here in the long run. The individuals that are just looking for some home run, some quick, euphoric, unrealistic return, those are the ones that burn their accounts. Those are the ones that blow up. Go on tilt, revenge trade. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Like, if you want to play the lottery, then just go to the gas station, buy a lottery ticket. Because this is not that. You're going to take some ownership in your business by finding discipline in your risk management, by controlling your emotions, by controlling your actions. Then you can turn this into a business. But if you're thinking that something euphoric, something unrealistic is going to happen, I'll be the first one to tell you that's not going to happen. This is a work smarter, not a work harder. And I just don't even believe in luck. If you're looking to become lucky, then you might as well just go flip a coin, right, and bet on whichever side the coin hits. All right, now that we understand that FOMC is today, we have to understand that time is our most important element. Then comes bias or draw on liquidity. in my opinion, bias is not clear here. Why is it not clear? The way that I determine bias is looking at swing lows, swing highs, and FEGs on the daily chart. Okay, so we're looking at this bearish FEG here. We're looking at this swing high here, either one. Price did a good job closing above it. Right, this would be an invalidation to a bearish bias. Right here. On Monday, price did a good job closing above the bearish FEG. Right, this is what a bearish FEG should do right here. Right, we get rejected by the first portion of the bearish FEG. Right, this looks convincing. This looks like the bearish FEG provided the rejection we were for. Right, so compare this reaction where oil went up, tapped into the first portion, right? Didn't even make it to the halfway mark of the FEG. Right, the halfway mark's probably somewhere around there. That shows the respect for this bearish FEG. Getting rejected by the first portion of the FEG. Now compare that to ES or NQ. It doesn't matter which chart you look at. They're both correlated assets. Should be moving the same at the same time. Right, here's the bearish FEG on NQ. Did a good job closing above it, invalidating the bearish FEG. This is exactly why I'm saying it's not clear, right? It invalidated the bearish FEG and then the next day sold off. Right, so it did, in a sense, get a rejection from the bearish FEG. It just wasn't clean at all because it invalidated it first and then sold off afterward. Right, so I just look at swing highs, swing lows, and FEGs on the daily chart to determine my bias. And this is why I'm saying that the bias is not very clear right now. When looking at the FEG, this is the most recent thing that it's reacting to. At first, it invalidated it. And then the next day, it showed a rejection. Okay. Next thing that I have to say, this is not how I determine bias. It's just a concept that we use. So I'm looking at it, and something that I'm capable of identifying is change in the state of delivery. Right? The change in the state of delivery here would be right here. The candle that swept out the low, right? Here's the low here, the swing low. Candle swept out the low, and then after sweeping out the low, we get a candle closure above the opening price of that candle that took out the low. This would be a bullish change in the state of delivery. Right, so once again, it doesn't look like we're getting rejected from this bearish FEG here. It doesn't look like we're getting rejected from the swing high, whichever one you want to look at. On top of that, bullish change in state of delivery is getting respected. And then look at this. Last thing to look at as well. What is this right here? ES failed to sweep the previous day low yesterday. Right, it's very close, but let's zoom in so you can see it. ES failed to sweep the previous day low yesterday. And Q swept the previous day low yesterday. What is that? That's bullish SMT. That's bullish SMT right there. All right, so what I'm pointing to is that I can make more of a bullish argument using different concepts, but the way that I determine bias is using swing highs, swing lows, and FVGs. So the fact that we have conflicting information is what makes me sit here and say that I'm neutral. That I can't definitively be one-sided. When you could be definitively one-sided, that would be higher probability. When it's very clear to you that price is moving in one direction, that's when I would want to be executing. That's when I would want to have a bias. Let me show you an example of being definitive. All right, we're just going to back up here for a second. Now take a look at this. This is something that's very definitive to me. Swing low, swept. Right, so below an old low is in location to be bullish. Okay. Next thing is price closed back inside the range. Right, so we did not displace through the swing low. We closed back inside the range. Another bullish sign. Right, so we're supposed to be bullish below old swing lows. Here's your swing low here. It closed back inside the range. Another sign of being bullish. And then bullish SMT. Right, look at this here. Right, so this is a time in which it's very definitive. It's only bullish arguments. At this point in time, I would be looking for a move higher. Right? This is when I can say I'm bullish. I would like to see a move back internal. And it does a phenomenal job going right to the previous day high, which would be a target for a bullish bias. Okay, so I'm pointing out the reason why I'm neutral, right? Just like every other stream, just like every other day, we always show up and we create our game plan. We start by analyzing time. That's why you saw me on the economic calendar. Looking at the high impact news drivers. Seeing that FOMC is at 2 p.m. We need to be aware of one of our most volatile news events, time. Next comes bias or withdrawal and liquidity. And I'm pointing to you the difference of when to have conviction and when not to. Right, so I just showed you two examples. Right now, it's not clear. I cannot have a bias, so I'm saying that I'm neutral. And I pointed to the reasons why I'm neutral. There's conflicting arguments for both bullish and bearish biases. Compared to the second example that I just showed you where there was only bullish arguments, so that would give you conviction in a bias. All right, so heading into today's session, I would have a neutral bias, which means I would want to work with market structure. I would want to work with market structure. Okay, so get to the hourly chart. Take a look at what the hourly chart is doing. Really nothing clean about this either. We're just consolidating, right? Which makes complete sense. Looks like they're probably just engineering liquidity on both sides of the marketplace or non-farm, excuse me, for FOMC. So these lows are untouched. This high was taken out. This low was taken out. This high was taken out. Right, this just looks like a consolidation. Both sides of the range keep getting swept. And then they move to the other side of the range. This just looks like consolidation, right? We're just going sideways like this. Here's your pattern, day traders, right? Here's your bear flag. We're just consolidating sideways. It's a slow chop, a slow grind. So there really is nothing clear here. In my opinion, market structure is in a consolidation, which makes sense because they like to build liquidity on both sides of the marketplace heading into these high impact news drivers. Right, and that's what I just pointed to. Here's your liquidity right here. All of this consolidation. I would not be surprised if we continue to chop until FOMC. And then when FOMC comes out, they go and take both sides of the range. Right, the range here. So the only thing that I can sit here and definitively say, have any conviction in, is that I'm neutral. I don't have any bias. And that I would be looking for consolidation heading into FOMC. And then FOMC clearing out all the liquidity. That's what I have for today. So we can go in and look, wait to see if we see any entry functions. Right, this looks like it could end up being an entry function here. We'll see. Get confirmed first. We'll see if they end up creating this bearish setup. But all I'll be doing here today is remaining neutral, looking for our entry function, seeing if one even presents itself. I have no bias. All right, so if anybody has any questions or comments as we're waiting and watching, feel free to throw it in chat. Gladly go over the information as we're watching our session. still get some more conviction through experience. This is how you build conviction here, showing up for your session every single session. In my opinion, I'd rather be doing this. I'd rather be forward testing, live trading, than back testing. Back testing, you don't have to sit here. You don't have to go through the amount of time that it takes for these candles to develop. That in itself develops patience, delayed gratification, the things that you need to trade. So we'll continue to keep showing up. We'll continue to relentlessly keep working and learning each week. So as we're waiting and watching, feel free to throw any questions or comments in chat. We can go over them as we're watching price action. If you're finding any value in the streams, if you're finding any value in the content that I post, any of the live streams that we do every single week, do me a favor and hit the like button on this video. Sub to the channel. That way you can be notified for any new live streams, new educational content. For any of the individuals that are wondering why they can't participate in chat, because it's sub only. So again, you'll have to sub to the channel to participate with us. And we'll see what today's session has for us. You need to do a voice recording of encouragement so I can play it in the background. I could definitely do that. We do talk about a lot of mental and psych stuff. So that is one of the topics that we normally cover. This business truly is 80% mental, 20% chart. We need to have that mental and emotional intelligence. All right, let's take a look at a oil short. Take a look at this right here. See what oil wants to do with this. Have a swing high here. Swing high, swing low, new swing high, new low. You have an FEG here. Which is aligned with the lowest down close candles before the leg up that took liquidity. You already saw my bias on oil here. Tapped into the bearish FEG. Since it tapped into the bearish FEG, we're looking for a move lower to the external location. Swing high, swing high. Multiple swing highs on the hourly here. 1, 2. The higher time frame point of interest. What is today? Today is Wednesday. What happens on Wednesday for oil? Inventories. Inventories occurs at 10:30 a.m. on Wednesdays for oil. Need to be aware of inventories. That's 10:30. GC has a BPR long balance price range. Take a look at what you're looking at. Didn't put the time frame, so we'll just have to take a look at a couple. This portion in here on the hourly would be a balanced price range. A balanced price range is when you have a bearish FVG, right? You can see the bearish FVG here that is overlapped with a bullish FVG. This portion would be a balanced range. Okay, you pointed to the 5 minute, so let's take a look at the 5 minute. So you do have a bearish FVG here, but you'd need another FVG, right? There would need to be a bullish FVG going through this bearish FVG for it to be a balanced price range. So if it happens, that would be a balanced price range, and that would be a long for a 5 minute balanced price range. We'll come back to that. It has some time before that develops. We'll see if that creates a balance. May I ask, how do you manage your risk? Divide your drawdown by 10. Divide your drawdown by 10. That should be the amount of risk per trade. Right? So larger drawdown means more risk. Less drawdown means less risk. Just divide your drawdown by 10. That should be your risk per trade. And when risking, I only risk 1 time per day and 2 times maximum per week. Oh, okay. You're looking at the 515 FVG. Back. Maybe I'm missing something here, but maybe I'm just not reading it correctly or something. 515 first FVG aligned with 830. Here's 515 here. There is a bullish FVG, yes. I agree with that. Aligned with 30. Up here. Maybe I'm missing something. Oh, Central Time. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what Central Time is. Charts should be on New York time, in my opinion. Markets ran off of New York time, so not sure how far behind Central is. Hour behind, so if you're extending this FEG over to here, it would be a bearish balance price range, right? Because you have a bullish FEG, then you have a bearish FEG. CL got tagged. You guys have to understand that oil has inventories. Okay, so if you're not willing to risk inventories, that's the first decision you have to make. Inventories is at 10:30 a.m. You are the individual that says, I participate after the news, right? Well, then it's not 10:30 a.m. yet. So you have to understand your risk, right? Be an independent thinker and understanding whether you're willing to risk the news or not. Okay. Do we have a 1 minute unicorn? I highly suggest getting off the 1 minute chart. Stop trading the 1 minute chart. No, this is not a bullish unicorn on ES. Right? The FEG has to be aligned with the breaker, right? It is not aligned with the breaker on either NQ or ES. So this cannot be a unicorn. So I disagree with that. Right, great job moving higher, but it doesn't matter. That's not a unicorn. If you have some kind of other model, then okay, but not a unicorn. Magnets on, that's what's going on here. So it looks like the change in the state of delivery with the bullish SMT getting a move currently. We'll see if it could go back to previous day high. Everything still remains the same. I'd be neutral here. None of the analysis changed. Still conflicting on the daily. Just pointing to some of the things that we talked about when we developed a neutral bias. Why is the stop loss at the swing high? Because that's where the stop loss goes. That's what invalidation is. where invalidation to the idea would be. I take a look at YM, see what YM has for us. You take a look at YM. Is it a bullish unicorn in London Open? If you're pointing to this right here, I'd agree with that. You have a swing low, you have a swing high, new low, new high. FVG is aligned. Right, so if that's what you're pointing to, then I would agree with what you're saying. Did a good job moving higher from it. Yeah, so if that's what you're pointing to, I would agree with that. ES and NQ also had the same exact position. You can see it here as well. Same exact position on ES and NQ. ES has not hit 2R yet, but YM did. NQ has not hit 2R yet either. Yeah, you could, if you took the position in London, you can hold this. Right? You could have held this the entire time. Right? It never hit invalidation. The only time you can't hold it is when it's overnight. Right? The majority of the prop firms that we're using right now don't allow overnight positions. There's very few prop firms that do allow that. The 5-minute chart is not aligned with the 4-hour chart. So, right, you have to understand time frame alignment. But the 4-hour chart is looking like a bearish unicorn. Well, if you're using the 4-hour chart, then the time frame alignment would be with the 15-minute. I agree with what you're saying, right? You have a swing high, swing low, new high, new low. But that's not aligned with the 5-minute chart. So here's the time frame alignments right here. Right, we use time frame alignments to understand which time frames to analyze. So this is one time frame alignment, or 4-hour to 15-minute to 1 minute. Both time frame alignments are used the same exact way. Higher time frame is your bias. Medium time frame is your higher time frame points of interest. Lower time frame is your entry function. So just choose one of these. That way you understand which time frames to analyze. And don't compare them. The reason for that is information overload. If you're sitting there switching through 100 different charts, every single chart's going to say something different. Like, you're going to fall into information overload because the daily is going to say something different than the 4-hour. 4-hour is going to say something different than the 1-hour. The 1-hour is going to say something different than the 15-minute. So less is more, quality over quantity. Just choose one of these, and this is the one I choose. I use this time frame alignment. I use this time frame alignment because I don't like executing on the 1 minute chart. It's too noisy. Too many price fluctuations. There's too much information. So I'd rather be executing on the 5 minute chart. So since I execute on the 5 minute chart, I use the 1 hour chart for higher time frame points of interest, and I use the daily chart for a bias. Since I use this time frame alignment, I don't even look at this time frame alignment. I don't even look at other time frames. Okay. So just choose one of the time frame alignments and stick to it. That way you understand which charts to be analyzing. How is oil doing? Oil hasn't moved. It's just still in the same position as we first saw it. It hasn't made up its mind yet. The 5 minute NQ London long price was located at a bearish FEG. Let's take a look. Right, so the position was confirmed at this moment in time right here. Right, so let's go to the hourly chart. On the hourly chart, price had swept a swing low right here. So I disagree with that statement. Price swept an hourly swing low. After sweeping an hourly swing low, it created a bullish unicorn. Right? Swing low, swing high, new low, new high. Breaker blocks the highest up close candle before the leg down that took liquidity. And you need to have an FEG aligned with it. So there's your FEG there. Right, this is a bullish unicorn. It occurred at a higher time frame point of interest. So now that everything is confirmed, you would enter at the beginning of the breaker block. Stop loss at the low, aiming for 2R. This is what it would look like. Multiple entries given. You'd have to wait a long time. This took a while. Right, but there's your 2R now. So, beautiful position there on NQ and ES. YM had it as well. Was anybody able to take the longs on NQ, ES, or YM? Throw a 1 in the chat if you have. Ash, is there a limit as to how long time has passed after an hour 1 POI has been taken? You want to use the most recent information. Right, so that's something that would bother me about the CL position. Right? Most recent information. You have this bullish FEG here that it was tapped into. Right, so this is the reason why I wouldn't take this position. Most recent information. There's no definitive time. It's not, you know, every 30 minutes you're looking for higher time frame point of interest. It's whatever the most recent information is. Right, so between this and inventories being at 10:30, Very concerning for this idea right here. Hey, Ash, totally off topic. Just want to say thanks for streaming. I don't trade your model, but I tune in to hear your talk about your approach in trading. It really helps the mental game. Thanks for the kind comment. It really doesn't matter what model that you trade. What does matter is the mental and emotional intelligence that goes into this. This was never a signal service. Okay? This was never a, I'm not looking to trade in front of you guys. I'm looking to document my journey. I'm looking to show up and learn every single day. Okay, so I've said it many times. This is not a signal service. I won't be handing out positions. I won't be trading live. Right? I legally, I'm not even allowed to be trading live. So if you know anything about the law, like that's legally not acceptable. I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. This is me documenting my journey. This is me learning. This is a live look into my trading journey. Oh, yeah, perfect timing to trade live, man. No, thank you. I don't plan on doing that. When would you have the stop at the breaker versus the low of the swing? Just always put it at the swing point. It's a mechanical location. It's true invalidation. Just pick one location and stick to it. Same thing with the time frame alignment. Just pick one time frame alignment and stick to it. Hi, Ash, didn't you pay attention to the most recent hour one FEG? Yeah, I just pointed to that. I literally just talked about that. This bullish FEG here. Between inventories and this bullish FEG, those are multiple reasons why this short, we need to wait on this short. Like, if you're willing to gamble the news, then you need to reconsider your approach. I've always waited until after the news. How to know about the CL news? Go to the energy calendar. So it's calendar. Oil inventories. So it's the same thing. It's just like Forex Factory. It's just the energy calendar. So we'll see what happens with this position, and then we'll wrap it up. This will be what we're looking at for today. It'll probably take another 15 minutes. Inventories will probably give the answer. Take a look at GC again. What do you have on GC? What do you have here on GC? What do we have for GC? I wouldn't be over trading this knowing that FOMC is coming up. You had mentioned a balanced price range earlier. Doesn't look like you got the move higher from the balanced price range unless you took something off in here. I wouldn't be over trading at the moment. I know you're saying that this is a double bottom here, but in my world, this looks like liquidity. Something is this clean right here. They're going to have to take this out at some point in time. Equal lows or equal highs for me is one of the best forms of drawing liquidity. So I wouldn't be surprised if one of these FVGs here price back lower to the equal lows. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to take a sip of water. While I do, feel free to throw any questions or comments in chat. All right, thanks for the patience. SMT. Here's your example of SMT. This is bearish SMT. Using two correlated assets. When looking for bearish SMT, you analyze the highs. Right, so this is NQ. This is ES. They should be moving the same at the same time. Right, so NQ took out the high. ES did not. That's what bearish SMT is. This would be the weaker pair. Failure swing is what shows that it's the weaker pair. When you're bearish, you should short the weaker pair. And vice versa for longs. For longs, you look at the lows. Again, you use correlated pairs, so NQ and ES. This one would be the stronger pair. So the pair that creates the failure swing is the stronger or weaker pair. Long the stronger pair, short the weaker pair. That's how you analyze SMT. Here's an example of SMT here. NQ took out the previous day low. All right, we're analyzing the lows for bullish SMT. NQ took out the previous day low. ES did not take out the previous day low. That is bullish SMT. Bullish SMT. Long the stronger pair, short the weaker pair. Do you ever long the stronger pair when weaker pair painted a unicorn? No, I still only use the unicorn model. You just get the SMT from a higher time frame. Right? I'm pointing to daily SMT. Right? So SMT is on the higher time frame. And then my entry time frame is the 5-minute chart. Right? And the entry function that I use is a unicorn. Right? So we pointed to this unicorn earlier. I don't use SMT on the same. I don't use SMT on the entry function time frame because then my entry function would change, and I'm not going to change my entry function. Just be a valid unicorn. At 9:05. Yeah, if you're calling this a bearish unicorn, I agree with what you're saying. These 3 candles right here. I agree with that. Swing high, swing low, new swing high, new low. Lowest down close candles. FVG. And so there you go with the equal lows conversation that we just had a couple minutes ago. Right, equal lows to me is one of the best forms of drawing liquidity. It makes complete sense that right? We got rejected. The statement I made was that it would get rejected by one of these bearish FEGs to then go below the equal lows. To me, equal lows is one of the best forms of draw on liquidity. So it makes sense that it went lower here. Hey Ash, at what point in your life are you at right now? At a continuous learning point in my life. Continuously working on my health. Every single day is a learning opportunity for me. I wake up and I work on my trading business. After I work on my trading business, I go to the gym. I work on my health. After working on my health, I then work on my other businesses during the afternoon. Then once my wife gets home from work, I spend the rest of the night with her. So, always working, always improving, always learning, always providing value. That's the point where I am in my life. Do I use an indicator to automate SMT? No, I don't. If you look through any of my live streams, you won't see any indicators on the chart. Right? All the live streams always look like this. I don't rely on indicators. We got another minute and a half here before inventories. That'll most likely give you your result to this idea here. Once we get a result to the position, we'll begin to wrap up the live stream. Can you give an example of continuations? We need to watch the news here first, so give me some time. Inventories is the important time for oils today, which is at 10:30, which is in 1 minute. Is it invalidated? No, the position's exactly what it looks on the screen, right? Here's the position right here. Entry at the beginning of the breaker, stop loss at the high, aiming for 2R, right? Invalidation would be a stop loss, right? So here's the stop loss. So we'll probably see invalidation or validation, right? We don't know which way it's going to move yet in about 30 seconds. All right, let's see what inventories has for us. And there's your invalidation. That's what invalidation looks like right there. Stop loss being at the high. All right, so a couple notes regarding this. We mentioned the hourly chart and this being an issue here. When looking for a higher time frame point of interest, use the most recent information. This bullish FEG right here. We pointed to this and stated that was one of the reasons why I wouldn't want to use this short position. Next is inventories. For all the people that have been working with me for multiple years now, executing after the news is what we look for. Okay, so multiple reasons for the loss. I'm not sure what's funny about that. Invalidation, my I mean, I don't know how many times I have to say it. This isn't a signal service. This is me publicly documenting my own journey. So if you're not willing to work and learn every single week, then maybe this isn't for you. But nonetheless, I continue to provide my logic in real time. You get to hear all of the thoughts and the decision making in real time. We will wrap it up with that now that we got a result to the position. We can go ahead and document it, go ahead and journal it, and learn from it. And then head over to the fitness center. So I appreciate everybody that was here, all the people providing value. Any questions and information, it's greatly appreciated. The continuation question, we'll do it in Discord. So I'm going to move over to the Discord. If you have any other questions or comments, let's head over to the Discord and we'll complete the conversation there. Thank you for all the people that participated today. I greatly appreciate your time, and I will see you on the next live stream. Have a nice day, everyone.